support the success in that department?
Well, a lot of stops, of course, that helps you. This guy's commitment to get out. Thought Rudy was outstanding running the floor, really changing ends quickly. A lot of gravity there in his rim runs. And just, guys getting good spacing. Like even when we have run in the regular season, our spacing hasn't been great at times. And so I think guys, just made a commitment. We get into good spots and trying to get to the rim as quickly as we could.
And going the other way too, right? Getting back and preventing them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're a quick strike team. They throw the ball long in transition, probably better than anybody. They got 2 elite passers in transition that usually ignite their break. A bunch of guys that get out and run, and they do a good job of running to the rim as well. So, but again, making shots helps you with your transition defense.
The way that they get out in transition, is that an example of something when you have a week to prepare to really drill down how you want to counter that? Is that where that shows up in your game plan as opposed to maybe during the regular season?
I mean, it certainly was something that we knew we wanted to be better at coming into the series, but I think guys have a ton of energy, and we got to find that energy game too.
It seems like both Nas and Dante, when they get a rebound, they're at half court in a blink. Is that really a big part of the transition?
Well, yeah, we pretty much give everybody license to push when they rebound the ball, with the exception of Rudy. But and those guys, particularly Dante, rebounding from the smalls position, he's a very good rebounder there. So it adds another dimension to our ability to get out for sure.
It's like a real classic matchup, right? So, how do you think it's kind of coming on Rudy?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he did great. We know Mike does several things well. He's always competes. He's always in the right spot. He can execute a game plan at a super high level. We have confidence putting him in a lot of places. So we're not overly concerned about whether there's a classic matchup for him or not.
We've seen the dynamic with Julius evolve throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just chemistry, right? It's like it starts with understanding each other's spacing, tendencies, what they're trying to do. Julius is a very different player than Cat was. I mean, it took Cat and Rudy a little while to figure it out. We fully expected it to take Julius and Rudy. I think Cat was more of a straight line player, more of a spot up player. Julius is more of a zigzag guy, more of a drive it guy. So it's just some dynamics there. I think trust and spacing and connectivity is just all taking some time, but all credit to those guys. They figured it out, and Julius is finding him a lot more now, and I think that's something that has really helped our offense overall.
What do you think are the keys to get the kind of spacing you need for that dynamic to work well?
I think, it's moving early, being ready to move into new space early. Just particularly for Rudy, moving off of Julius, because Julius will change direction a lot, so it gives you an opportunity to react to the reaction. If that makes any sense. So.
About Jaden's
I mean, his overall aggressiveness, in every facet of the game, whether it be transition on the glass, committed to his shot, play off the catch. Everything he did was quick, clean, decisive.
Chris, with Ant,
yeah, good to see you too.
The past couple of years, the his journey, playmaking.
Yeah.
What has that been like, and what kind of conversations have you guys had? Did it feel like a moment the other night when he's going 9 assists and 1 turnover? And the other side, you got Luka and LeBron, 2 of the best passers of all time, having a hard time finding their teammates.
Yeah, I think it's been fun with Anthony because in a lot of ways he's a blank slate. Chris Hines, player development, Pablo Prigioni, those guys work a lot with Ant, put him through a lot of different situations. He's seen a million different coverages. At times he was frustrated. Then he learned to embrace it all. Understanding what's going to happen maybe before it starts to happen is a big part of that. Pattern recognition is a big part of that. And just leaning into it, and not fighting it. I think most young players, they fight these things initially, and they just kind of want to play fast and hurry and race everything. And sometimes you gotta go somewhere with a purpose. Maybe with the understanding that it's not always going to be for you, you know. And he's really kind of evolved this season. We saw it really in January is probably when it started to crystallize for him. He had a lot more lines like he had the other night, which is, you know, probably when we're playing our best basketball.
What's his relationship been like with sacrifice? I feel like that every guy's different. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to embrace that aspect of it.
Well, I mean, he's probably has a bit of a reluctant relationship, you know. But that is not because he's selfish. He just has such a killer mindset that he knows he can, you know, take over a game, or he believes he can take over a game. But, you know, I say that jokingly. He really has he has understood that, like, just making the right play doesn't always mean passing. You know, we're always preaching make the right play. Every single time down, it might be a little bit different. He trusts Rudy implicitly. Like, he throws the ball to Rudy a lot. That's been something that's evolved over the last several years, and just, you know, trusting his teammates. I mean, even at the end of games this year, like, we weren't a great clutch team because, you know, we either turned it over or we would miss wide open shots, but those wide open shots were created a lot by Anthony. Keep trusting his teammates in those situations, you know.
One of the most encouraging things about your team since January is the versatility. Is the emergence of Jaden as a legitimate big oftentimes? How much has that made your team do so much more versatile?
A legitimate big, you said?
Well, I mean, yeah, somebody who can really play. I mean, like the other night, he said he was the biggest guy on the court.
Yeah.
2 putbacks in a row. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think you know, we learned that lesson. I think last year in the playoffs, where we really tried to use him there as an advantage. You know, once he starts committing to certainly the offensive glass, like, it's kind of kept feeding itself because he had so much success at it. You know, through a spate of injuries this season, we used him as a big a lot of times too, which I think kind of introduced him to another way to play, which we probably always had there, but we've always had such great options at the bigs. So, you know, I think you're right. It's added layers to his game.
What do you think about Rudy's game?
Yeah, I thought Rudy's game was outstanding. Like, you know, I thought he did a lot of, like, really impactful things without the ball in his hands, you know, without having the ball, without scoring. It wasn't even like he dominated on the glass, but he just did a lot of things out there, you know, that we needed him to do, that we've been preaching to him to be successful. He's got to do those things for us.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.